Hello, Ajit.
Yes, Roman. Welcome.
Welcome. Uh, very difficult dates, difficult
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
First of all, I would like to send our deep condolences to all
yeah,
people who was touched by this natural disaster. So many people and
yeah,
so many suffering.
yeah,
Mm, and as a homeopath, I ask myself question: how how we can help these people? Today in this country, tomorrow in another country, today Earthquake, tomorrow something else.
yeah.
And I would like to ask your general opinions, then we will go through remedies, and then maybe we'll discuss how to be arranged in
Yeah.
another way.
You see, Roman, this is a natural catastrophe. We have catastrophe for the human civilization through nature and through man-made. I will say that both are catastrophes. Both are dangerous for the, I will not use the word common man, but for every man. Condolences are always there. Our sympathy is always there. But more than that, we must now possess a very deep, long vision of the earth as a whole. I have very strong opinion that let us now focus upon those areas of earthquake on this planet. And can we remove all these people to non-earthquake ridden territories with all the global opinions and commitments? Is it possible? I think for humans, everything is possible. I will include many parts of India, of Indonesia, of Japan, of Turkey. Can we totally discharge the humans over there and can we move them to other place? This is a point number one. A very deep, long vision whether humans possess today, whether
Just to add,
politicians
Ajit,
possess
that
today. Yeah,
of course this is not the whole list.
yeah,
There are much more places, including Israel, where I'm living,
yeah,
and
yeah,
this is a very big problem for
yeah,
nearby countries as well. So
yeah,
I agree with you totally. We have to
yeah.
think about prophylaxis first of all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is one thing. Second thing now, as a homeopath now, we have really a very wide armamentarium to deal with. We have our first aid, we have the remedies to deal with the situation, and homeopathy in the past has found to be very useful. If you know, Roman, you were instrumental when Israel was affected long back. You made an organization. Many people in the Israeli homeopaths came together, and we had a discussion over. I think something like 18 years ago, and you did a very marvelous job of distributing the medicines and counseling the people at large. So whenever such a situation happens in any part of the world, the homeopath must be committed to do something. And so from that angle, I think we have our own offerings to the you see suffering people. Yeah, yeah,
Of course, we have to be arranged and organized in a proper manner.
yeah,
For example, as far I understood, there are so many people who could be treated homeopathically
yeah,
right now, but how to send homeopathy there? Do we have homeopathic teams which will be ready to go there?
yeah. You
Government
see,
of Turkey will accept it or not? Can we help these people online? If there is an awareness about homeopathy in such places, there are so many questions here.
so a big question you see in Turkey, the homeopathic pharmacies are not available. Such a beautiful country. I visited more than 10, 12 times this country, and the people are very nice. People want homeopathy, but due to some issues which are under not our control, still I think with sympathetic view, when homeopathy has billion-dollar business in the world, and homeopathy is being practiced in 82 countries of the world, Turkey should not oppose the sale of the homeopathic books, homeopathic drugs, and try to say that homeopathy, which is a natural therapy, should become a part of the society. So I appeal and request the concerned authorities of the Turkey, please, it is not necessary to oppose homeopathy, which is not a predator at all, which is a science, natural, cooperative. We have no problems with surgery, with allopathic good way of treatment. We are not opposing anybody. We are just healers, healers of the mankind, practicing since more than 260 years on this planet. So please be open and allow the homeopathic remedies, allow the homeopathic schools to open up in your country, and you will find that homeopathy, which is a very helpful system of medicine, if it becomes a part of the Turkey people, it will be a great boon to the people. Yeah.
And I hope that maybe some of people of Turkey and other countries will receive homeopathic help. So let us talk about practical part.
Yeah.
First, homeopathic aid during Earth-ache,
Yeah.
common remedies. Let us make an overview. Of course, it will overlap with other topics. For example, we made several programs about first homeopathic aid during war,
Yeah.
and for a general introduction, we can talk about first remedies, first general remedies. Many people are in this state now. Many people are in states of aconite, arnica, opium, gelsemium, stramonium, argentum nitricum, arsenicum album.
Correct.
And if they will know what it's about, I think that even knowledge can partially help, and maybe with some homeopathic remedies, we can help, we can send maybe the. Let us talk about remedies.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, as you have already told Roman about the frequently indicated remedies from homeopathy, aconite becomes a sheet anchor in such cases, especially when the acute earthquake has happened and people are dying. The relatives of the people are dying and they have seen the death. So naturally, the fear of death becomes a very deep process to begin. So I think the first remedy when the death is an issue is aconite. With aconite, you can reduce the restlessness, blood pressure, vasomotor symptoms, psychosomatic symptoms, and your mind will be calmed down. You will have a good sleep with aconite. So aconite is a number one remedy when there is a fear, a very strong fear. I will call it not only a fear, it is just like a panic attack. So aconite is a number one. Then comes the second remedy, as Roman you already told, that is arsenic album. In arsenic album, you see, it is a perceived threat of life and also the real threat of life. The seriousness is there. With arsenic, you will find actually the death of neighbors, the death on the people on the street with the relatives has occurred, and the condition has become really serious. There are some people who are injured very badly. Their lung is damaged, their liver is damaged, their brain is damaged. So the seriousness of the body injuries is also part of the arsenic album. With arsenic album, you will find this is a collapse remedy and you could save the life of the patient. Hypotension is there. You could increase the hypotension with arsenic album. Then the accompanying fear of death. So this is a I will call it deeper aspect of the aconite. This is arsenic album. Then
Just to add
yeah,
to the picture, this collapse you talked about, arsenic album, as a medical symptom, as a homeopathic symptom, we see this collapse, what's going on during and after earthquake, when everything is collapsing, everything is ruined, and
yeah,
if the person there, he lives and he see what's going on around him,
yeah,
this is not something uh, which will stop or finished or transformed in one day. This
yeah,
is a long period of time. So
right,
everything everything he had collapsed, and he is absolutely not sure about tomorrow. And this is part of deep emotional state of arsenic album.
right, right, Roman. And apart from that, Roman, uh, you know, many people are you see under the you see debris of the earth because of the falling of you see multi-storied buildings. So their respiration center is depressed. The brain is affected, lung is affected. So they have injuries to the lungs with consequent hemorrhage, pleural effusion. Then you will find fracture of the ribs, and then there is a breathlessness with fear also function on with structural problems of the lungs also. Here also, arsenic album ranks high.
Yeah.
This is very important aspect of arsenic album.
And
Yeah,
Ajit, day before yesterday, when everything happened, I saw a short TV news program, and there were reminder about previous very serious errors in Turkey, and in this it was more than 20 something years ago, maybe
yeah,
even more. And the story about Israeli family, they went to vacation to Turkey, and when everything happened,
mhm,
small girl with her twin and mother and father and grandmother and grandfather um, find herself under the collapsed building. And in the beginning, because she was very close to her brother,
yeah,
they talked. But after some time, brother stopped to answer. So she realized that she stayed alone. And can you imagine that after 5 or 6 days,
yeah,
uh, the delegation of
yeah, yeah, Roman.
Israeli army um, succeeded to took out
Mhm,
to took out from ruins. So
yeah,
she was under ruins for about 6 days, and now um, after she left there, after she stayed without parents and grandparents and her twin
yeah,
brother, she lives in Israel. She uh, recovered how she could, and even has a very uh, good and happy family. And
very nice, very nice.
uh, so I think that this is a hope to find
Yes, yes,
under ruins many people, and try not give up, and try till the
yeah,
everything we can do. So
yes,
if
yes,
somebody in such situation, a few minutes or few hours or few days until ruins, and he's waiting, and there are many remedies coming to mind, but of course, aconite, of course, arsenicum album, and of course, after that, we have to see the reaction. But let us talk a little bit about such cases.
Yeah, you
Stramonium,
see that.
maybe stramonium, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Your case reminds me of Ignatia directly because she saw the brother dying. She is alone. The grief becomes a very deep process for the young young girl who is a very tender age. The mind is very delicate and tender.
She was about 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah. So you can see the role of Ignatia, and you see Ignatia has also got fear of death for 3 marks under the repertory. So this is a very important aspect, that it is a remedy of grief as well as fear, and both are regarded as a shock in Ignatia. So shock word is not only fear, not only grief. It is a very deeper process of shock to the system. So the mind goes into shock, cannot think properly. It goes very deep. So the magnitude of suffering becomes deep with the shock. This is the idea with Ignatia. You know, Ignatia has been termed by one of the authors like a funeral remedy. It is as if you are on the funeral. So exactly this word typifies the state what happened to Turkey after three big jolts of earthquake. So everywhere there are dead bodies, everywhere there is a destruction, and there is a fear also. So this is exactly the state of Ignatia also, with the relatives more. Yeah.
So let us continue this list.
Yeah. Roman, I want to pay attention to one very important remedy here we lose sight of. That is Cuprum metallicum. You know, Cuprum metallicum is also a remedy of fear of the death. And Cuprum, you know, is in one way brave, want to behave like a army general, like a soldier. He thinks that he is a soldier. He wants to help the people. At the same time, internally there is a fear. So this remedy is likely to help those soldiers, those people, those benevolent people. At one pole, they have a fear what is going to happen to them. There is a fear of death. At other level, kind-hearted and benevolent to help, and to help the people to come out of the state of devastating environment. This is Cupra metallicum. And with a lot of symptoms, which I call as a tremors, shaking of the body, jerking of the body. So due to fear, you get like gelsemium, shaking of the body. This is also a very strong symptom of Cuprum metallicum. So this remedy must be taken into account in acute conditions like natural catastrophe of earthquake.
And I want to stress one more polarity about Cupra. Actually, this is the same polarity, just to emphasize it. We know that Cuprum is soldier general, has a delusion general he is from one side, and we see important of professional militaries people in this
Yeah.
situation. They
Yeah.
have to be very precise, and so we have a good general to rule out of this situation. The second state of Cuprum, of course, this is full of fears, and we see as a external exhibition of this convulsion or constriction,
Yeah.
or even I remember one case we saw together many years ago, and it was a case of a child with bronchial asthma, and you stressed that we have to give cuprum metallicum, and it helped a lot. And why? Because of symptom clinging to his mother. And what
Yeah.
is clinging? Clinging is being hold by himself and to arrange everything that somebody will care, somebody will hold, somebody will care about me. So we have a polarity in Cupr. From one side, I'm a general and I will take care about you, and from another side, please take care about me. I'm so constricted from this
Yes,
fear.
very nice, very nice. And this second part of the polarity comes from fearful nature of Cupr.
Yeah.
It is like causticum and phosphorus having multiple fears also. Yeah.
So now you mentioned gelsemium. Let us talk a little bit about gelsemium in these cases.
Gelsemium is a remedy which is depressed. I mean, the system becomes depressed. The system loses the go. The dynamism is lost very soon because the fear goes deep into the mind. And then it causes more like muscular weakness, nerve weakness. So this is dizziness, drowsiness, sleepiness. I can't do this. So like onosmodium, gelsemium also speaks the same language. I cannot do this. And he becomes then frustrated. This is very important. It is not only an issue of drowsiness, but frustration and despair. He becomes hopeless. I cannot do. And just he lies down in the bed doing nothing. So if you find in this earthquake, even a young man is unable to help others, unable to raise up from the situation. He has been picked up by the soldiers, he's in the hospital somewhere. He remains bedridden without any activity, passivity, and inertia for days together. This is gelsemium. So, individuality wise, you will find there is a difference. Every individual, you will find the whole response, acute and chronic, differs considerably. Do you know a very interesting remedy we didn't think of is ferrum phosphoricum. You know, ferrum phosphoricum has also fear of death, and it's a very important remedy in injuries where the hemorrhage has occurred. So when the multi-story building is now has fallen down and there are injuries, bleeding has occurred, and associated with that is an extreme fear of death. Ferrum phos is a very important remedy. It often follows even arnica. So complementary to arnica is ferrum phosphoricum, very important. And what is important in this ferrum phosphoricum is it is not only issue of fear of the death, but also emotional excitement in general. The mind becomes hypersensitive, hysterical, so fearfulness. So every emotion becomes extremely hypersensitive. So the entire mind becomes excitable.
This is
And
part of
therefore,
phosphorus.
yeah,
This is part
yeah,
of phosphorus.
yeah. But ferrum phos can go to phosphorus provided the injuries are physical injuries are deeper and bleeding is considerably arterial, bright red bleeding, and there is a big loss of the hemorrhage. Then phosphorus can be followed well after ferrum phosphoricum.
If we talk
Yeah,
about bleeding, maybe
yeah.
we don't have now enough time, but can you mention just most important remedies for bleeding? Of course, I can open a repertory. Everybody can open a repertory and
Yeah, yeah,
see this
yeah,
huge rubric. And but in
yeah.
such situation,
Okay,
um,
I will tell. First remedy you see is Arnica montana because it is a remedy of hemorrhage and the hemorrhage. एक 15-20 मिनट है. But you see that the whole situation is that with Arnica, the bleeding has occurred, sleepiness has occurred. So it's a remedy of soporous condition. It is not gelsemium. Gelsemium has no bleeding. You understand. Exactly, soporous condition is not dizziness condition. In Arnica montana, there is a much more arterial bleeding like phosphorus. And then there are hematomas. Hematomas may be inside the organs, maybe in the brain. So there is intracranial pressure which has increased, which has also resulted in soporous sleepiness condition. And the system loses the consciousness in a slow, gradual way. So you will find this is not a state of hellibolus where sensorium depression is present, but the patient is sleeping more and more. In the morning, it was sleepiness. Now it is deeper in the evening. Tomorrow it is much deeper. This is a state of
Okay.
arnica.
And
Yeah.
this sleepiness, let us stress the difference between sleepiness of Delzemion and sleepiness of Arnica.
You see, it is a more muscular weakness, muscular debility with the whole system which is depressed. And this is exhibited in terms of, you see, I need to rest because I have a kind of weakness and moreover than lameness. It is not only weakness, it is a lameness. As if there is a paralysis of the entire system. The brain is not working, the muscles are not working, they have gone to paralysis. So you get system depression being exhibited in terms of sleepiness.
This is in Delzemion.
Yeah, this is gelsemium. Actual sleepiness because of pathology. This is arnica montana. Like intracranial pressure being increased because of hematoma in the brain. This is arnica montana. So the pathology is very different. One speaks of the muscular lameness, the other speaks of the hematoma. The result could be sleepiness. Yeah.
Okay. So, bleeding, just to mention remedies, Arnica,
Yeah. Now you see.
phosphorus, we talked ferrum phosphoricum, we talked
Ferrum
phosphorus.
phosphoricum. Now, in the injuries, when the ferrum phos and arnica have failed and still there is a hemorrhage, one of the grand remedies from the acid group is sulfuricum acidum. Sulfuricum acidum is a complementary to both of them, but a little bit you will find bright red bleeding is a little bit becoming dark, clotted in sulfuricum acidum. But with sulfuricum acidum, that the clotted and dark bleeding continues, you have to think of lachesis and crotalus horridus. Just a different line of thinking now. Bright red bleeding, phosphorus, arnica montana, ferrum phosphoricum, okay, even aconite. But once you go into the dark bleeding with clotted, then you must think of venons more. Lachesis and crotalus are the big one. Out of them, crotalus hor is deeper even than lachesis. It is said that cases which are left out by lachesis could be helped by crotalus hor. So in all these earthquake injured people, when the hemorrhage has occurred, is not being stopped by the remedies like arnicamol. They are helping partially. You must think of crotalus horridus. It's a remedy of shock. It's a remedy of hypotension. It's a remedy which can stop the bleeding at once. So it is a time-tested remedy in homeopathy for more than 250 years. Yeah.
Uh, Maybe to close this short session, we
Yeah.
have to talk about remedies like opium, carbo vegetabilis. I mean, remedies where a person still doesn't come back to him
Yeah.
in a way,
Yeah.
and he's on a bridge, on a border between
Yeah.
there and here.
Yeah. Okay, Roman. Yeah. Uh,
Can you comment just the last one?
yes, I think my comment will be to help the people. Homeopaths are ready. The science is ready. Reap the benefits of homeopathy. And let us be open in using homeopathy for the suffering humanity. Only humans will help the humans. And humans are known to help. Humans are civilized. Humans are noble. Humans need the humans now. Let us be humans, not like animals, but like divine. We were born human divine. We will work as human divine. Let us work together and try to deal with the human suffering in the most noblest way possible for the humans. And humans possess huge capacity next to God. Yeah.
Dr. Ajit Kulkarni, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, Ajit.
Bye bye. Bye bye.